Here we are.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. So this is a follow-up from our Coaching for Foot Readers Day that we did in March this year. And Jane and I thought it'd be really lovely to have a bit of a chat and a question and answer session about some of the questions that you may have if you're considering coming to a Coaching for Foot Readers in the future. And so we have brought along the lovely Alison and Paula, and there may be some others popping in, to ask a few questions about before and after and what they gained from the session. And just so if you've got any questions that they're not us just saying, you can do this in our session. It's about real things, about actually sort of their experience and what they've gained from that day, that crazy day that back in March. So Jane's the question master.
Oh no, I'm just texting Alina to try and tell her to join the group again. So
okay, I'll start then.
Take the focus off
I'll
me.
take it. I'll regain the reins then. So my first question is, before you came to that day and you said yes to Coaching for Foot Readers, what did you expect? If we can sort of travel you back in time. So if you were thinking, so if that person that thinks, oh, that looks good, to where you were, what were you expecting?
Go, Alison. Well, first of all, I Googled you, Kerry, and I knew of Jane because I'd bought her foot reading books. And although I hadn't done a course with her, I wanted to get more in-depth insight into how you'd advertise the course, the two of you, when you were online talking about it. But yeah, it was wanting to get more insight into my practice and foot reading and implementing that in my reflexology.
Great. That sounds exactly the reason why you would come.
The two of you attracted this magnetic force of the two of you.
well, yes, even more so now, but it's quite funny to go back because we didn't know. We had an idea of what we wanted to create. And then obviously this magical day happened.
Yeah, I didn't have a goal, but then I just liked the idea of it and thought, yeah, I'll give that a whirl. So,
but you, Paula?
Okay, well, I had done Jane's foot reading course 10 years ago, and thought anything that I know. We're into 11 now, and I've kind of always used it when I've been doing reflexology anyway. But I thought, well, if there's a workshop running with Jane and someone else, that will give another input, and maybe almost a bit more confidence in using it. I kind of use it for my own kind of information, not always tell the client what I'm seeing, but it gives you some other sort of things to pick up on. But actually, hopefully I thought it would give me a bit more confidence to actually promote a bit more discussion around it, so the customers don't think it's some like real freaky thing that we do. So that was kind of, and obviously anything that Jane's doing is going to be fun anyway, so you always get something out of it. So, and you looked a bit crazy, so why not?
I don't know. So sane, it's so crazy. Well, that's interesting sort of for both of you wanting different things, because obviously so many people want different things when you do a workshop. And actually, if like sort of when you mention confidence in actually sort of like opening up that consultation into areas that that of your intuition and actually of your feeling and going with that. So that was what you wanted. Over the day. So what did you get from the day?
Well,
what did you create?
It was completely, I didn't know what to expect at all, and it was fascinating because the first part of the day you pointed out or drew out of us our own insecurities, fears, or how we self-sabotage our own practice almost, by pointing out to us the subconscious words that we use when we're talking about our fears. Magically tapped into all of that and opened up a can of worms with everybody.
It's my job. I have this can of worm opener that starts. There we go. Oh my God, what's in there?
And it's so quick, isn't it, Alison?
Yeah.
So quick.
It was incredible, really, and you can't describe it.
No, you can describe it, Alison. You've got to describe it to these people who are watching this. Oh my God, that doesn't help. Because it's one of those things, if when you create a space of trust and have a conversation, an intentional conversation with somebody, so much comes up. But you do have to create that space, that holding space, that people can feel that they can talk about their fears, like you said, their fears, their insecurities, and that you can say them out loud without fear of judgment, that you're going to kind of say that you're going to, that with all the shame and the blame and everything else that we attach to them, that, oh my God, I should have sorted this out by now, or whatever we have, or I'm not good enough, and all of the different fears that we all hold. And especially when you're talking in the magic of foot reading, for me, it's like, if we can't be crazy and absurd and have fun when we're talking about foot reading,
then when can we?
It's like sort of, so when I'm sat faced with sort of a group of women that are very serious, it's like, wow, but that's life. We could be talking about anybody, but in terms, it was very easy for me to walk in and kind of go, really, we're going to take life very seriously, when we're talking about foot reading. Yeah, it was magical in able, because also I'm walking in the trust that you have for Jane, and so for me it made my job very easy, because I could just go straight to work, because you'd already had that level of trust that you have for Jane, and knowing how experienced she is in what she does. So for her to invite me in, you already had that too. So that's what I think, for me, added to that space. Really, we created that magic together. But you, Paula?
Wow. Well, I just was interested in just watching how everybody else kind of reacted with each other as well. In terms of that, you kind of know what your insecurities are, but you think nobody will be able to pick this up. And like you say, straight away, and then you go away thinking, right, I've got to change that. So it's quite incredible.
I think the thing is also in that day is when you uncover those things about yourself that you bring to your consultation, is that you can then decide whether you add that into the mix. Because when you realise, if you're just going into service and not taking in your fears and insecurities, because otherwise that's kind of like you're filtering that through your consultation. It's just sort of actually knowing, that's my fear, and actually I can put that aside to actually say what this person needs to hear. Like in terms of your foot reading, like what do you see, rather than, oh, should I say that? I see this. I really feel that I should say this, but oh no, let's just go through and on the big toe we see this, on the little toe we see this. And I think that was what was joyful for me in the second part. So in the morning, we obviously we talked with me and went through sort of coaching, getting you into that space. And in the afternoon, it was a very practical, hands-on thing of actually then you put what you'd learned to use in the sessional thing. So it was really interesting to watch, because Jane and I split up. So Jane was guiding, doing some foot reading as well as coaching, and for me it was just to see how much curiosity you brought into that space. So when I could turn around and say, well, hold on a minute, what do you really see? It's like, oh wow, I really see this. It was like, well, just say that and have that conversation, because that could be it. Like you say, that once that opens that can of worms for you then to have the confidence to be able to have that conversation that person is looking to have. They're coming to you because for whatever reason it is, and if you see what you see, the quicker you can say that, the quicker that they can get on with the life that they really want to be leading. So that's the magic in it. So do you have any questions, Jane, before I ask?
Yeah, I'm listening to all this, and I was there, of course, but one thing that struck me is we talk about when you arrive, and you don't really think that you're going to talk about your own stuff. And then all of a sudden the spotlight's on you, and there's nowhere to hide, and you've had your main thing pinpointed within virtually minutes of you arriving. And it sounds really scary, but for me, whenever I've done this, it seems like a big deal, but the minute someone points it out, I always feel ridiculous that I held that idea. Do you know what I mean? And I laugh at myself and I think, oh, get over yourself. And in seconds, you can have changed just in that moment, having someone point it out to you. And I'm wondering if you guys, Paula and Alison, felt the same way. Like you're talking about, you talk about your fears, and all of a sudden your fears are pinpointed, even though you were in a group session.
Yeah, it was a really safe space though, and I wouldn't have thought I would have opened up in the way that I did, but then it encouraged each other. And we realised that all our fears are pretty much the same. We've all got views, the same concerns, the same worries about our business and how we communicate our business. And it was enlightening and reassuring to realise that others are in that same place.
Yeah.
And have you seen a change in what you do now, or in your approach, or in your business since doing the workshop?
Well, what do you notice is different?
I'm much more mindful about the way that I communicate, less fearful. It's given me more confidence. And certainly in my treatments, I'm more observant of my client as well.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Time to step, watch and listen to what they say, because having had it done to me.
Yes, I did it to you. I did.
Being woken up in my, having had tapped into it, you reflect and listen and observe your client, and hear behind what they're trying to say, hear something more.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No,
yes,
it does.
it does.
Brilliant. How about you, Paula? What are you noticing?
I am probably asking clients more questions, because they come in and they tell you, oh, I've got this and this, wrong with me, and you kind of know that there's more to it than that. And I've become a bit more confident in asking, trying to sort of dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And I think with when you say you do foot reading, of course, they say, oh, well, I've got this lump here. What does this mean? And sort of taking it away from that and really looking at the whole picture. So looking at the feet as the whole person, and why is that doing that, and how is that impacting on that? And you'd get a lot better information back, funnily enough.
Yeah.
And you get to what's actually going on. So yeah.
Wow.
So it goes up another level.
Well, it does. The fact that because when you said that you wanted to come for confidence, and that the fact that you are that confidence now has led you to get into the results that you wanted in a quicker way. So because people come to you and you can have those conversations that you wouldn't have got to before.
Yeah.
That then they get to actually go on and lead the life, do whatever it is needs of health or any kind of challenge that they're looking at in their lives. You know what I mean? Because people do, it's fascinating to me, because obviously when as a coach people come to me knowing that they've got a mindset issue of something, whereas because people come to you and other into therapists, they come with that connected to the ailment. And so
I want to ask a question.
Go on.
Are you having more fun in what you're doing now?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's giving me goosebumps. That's just like, that's everything. Enough, right? We're done. I think, if you can't have fun doing what you do, it's just like, you can't, About you, Paula, are you having more fun?
Yeah, I always have quite a lot of fun anyway, but
I
I
imagine you
think
do.
it's more a confidence thing. And then from that you think, well, I do know what I'm talking about. I kind of always thought I did anyway, but I didn't always say it.
Yeah.
You know, and then oh, come and do a presentation. Oh, okay.
Brilliant. I love that.
That is good.
So so for the people that are watching this, what and they're thinking of doing a class with Jane or I, no matter like in all the places that Jane's now, we're all going all over the place. Someone else is like, any minute now, I think we get an email from Jane going, right, Kerry, are you free in 2024? We're going to India. Okay, Jane. Of the people that are curious, and they you know, because this is kind of just it's great to be able to hear what you've experienced, you know, what you wanted, what you experienced in the day, and actually sort of how you're implementing that. So if someone was hesitating, what would you say to them?
Just do it. Even if it's not to do with your practice, what you'll take home from it yourself is invaluable. Because there's a lot of self-reflection and working through a lot of stuff, and it is invaluable. So
Fabulous.
And as you're behind you, just shift that shit.
Yeah.
What I do. What about you, Paula? You got anything that you wanted to add?
I think that's right what Alison says. You find quite a lot about how you behave, and I think you also said it during the day as well, Kerry, that you've got to leave all that stuff, all your stuff at the door while you're with your client, which I probably didn't always before. So and you know, you think that they want to hear about your stuff, and some do, but actually the session's not really about you. So that was quite a big thing I took away, actually.
And just to tap into that, because that kind of, when someone says that, you think, oh God, you know, because our little ego goes, oh, what this bit about me, I've got to tell them how important I am. It's the going into service part, that for now that you know what that feels like when you go into service and leaving that stuff, like, do you feel that sort of, how different does that feel now that you can do that when you actually go into service, like sort of purely, you know, absolutely truly into service, and not take, you know, a little bit of Paula's woes with you?
Well, you can just sit and focus on that. You can just sit and focus on that person. You don't have to worry about yourself. It's, as I say, it's not about you. And it's, you know, you get a lot more information back from your customer, and hopefully they go away feeling a lot happier as well, which is the impression I'm getting.
When you're,
maybe I should ask someone. What's
it's
different?
nice to know, because you know, for you to get some feedback as well, because then you can see, because people like to tell you,
but somehow as well people are actually booking straight away rather than saying, oh, I'll ring you next week, you know, and they kind of always do ring you the next week, but they're kind of saying, well, can we do the date now? And you're like, okay, they didn't always used to do that. And I'm not asking them to do that, and they're doing it. So
brilliant
feedback.
All these other things, it just leads you to be more intentional about everything, and you know, and the fact that when you're clear about what you want, the universe will provide it. You just got to be clear, because if there's that confusion or it's like, well, then people feel about your business. That's exactly how it happens. So sorry, Alison, you were going to say something.
Well, no, it's just that when you are sitting in that space with your client with a complete trust, then it does allow for a lot more to open up. Listening, observing, and pausing it provides that safe space. And that's it for us in that day. It
was a magical day. It's funny, isn't it? You have little flashbacks. And I remember throwing the book across the room at one point. Do you remember, Jane?
I do.
And in my head, I can't even think, like, why did you throw a book? It was all in context, people. Jane, you got any other questions?
Oh, do you know, I was actually there on the day, in case anyone watching is wondering about this. We do have great fun.
We do.
It does go very deep, very quickly.
Yeah.
And you come out the other end feeling lighter, happier, with epiphanies. I think it's safe to say you have your own epiphany, and each person who comes along, it's different for them because they came with a different intention.
Yeah.
And as you've heard, you have results that transcend what we did and end up coming into your treatment room with you. Because you've changed, so therefore the way you do your treatments has changed. And I just think, if you're wondering whether to come on the coaching workshop, stop wondering and just do it. And I'd also say, if you really hate it, we will give you your money back.
Oh God, yeah.
Quite happy to say that, because
quite clear. I mean,
I can't see anyone would hate it.
Well, I've never had to give my money back to anybody in the 15 years that I've been working as a coach. But I'm always open to that happening. You know, I mean, like, so if that happens and someone says, "Oh, this isn't what I wanted," absolutely. I mean, the likelihood is like you say, the things that people wanted that to get out of the class, and actually the results that they got are always very different.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you're open to anything's possible, and you bring all of you, then you know it's something, you know, something magical does happen. So how do they get in touch with you, Jane? Because you're the leader of the book.
Yeah, I've put all the coaching workshops on my workshop page. So go to footreading.com/workshops, and you'll see the foot reading workshops and the coaching workshops are all along there. From memory, I think the ones we've got booked at the moment, we've got one in Frodsham, we've got one in Tipperary, or Aherlow, I think. Aherlow. I can't remember the other one. Yes, yeah. And we're open to doing more, but we need to make sure we get enough people. So
how many people do? If people are watching this and they say, "Well, we'd like you to come and talk to us,"
we want a group of 8 people.
8 people.
Yeah. We want a group of 8 people.
And and the thing is, negotiate with Jane, because Jane's diary is crazy. And my diary is not so crazy. And if you wanted to find out more about me, it's kerryhales.com, and everything on there, my Facebook page and all of those things, that you can follow me and different groups and things if you want more information about me. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop.
Right.